We're live.
Hey,
We're live.
Are we live?
everybody. Nolan, kick
Look
us
who's
off.
here.
How
Look
do we
who's
start
here.
trailer talk?
I made it.
I don't know.
Up, step, up.
I'm
Nice,
actually
nice.
in.
Good coordination.
I'm in the PJ. I see that you're in the basement, and I'm in my actual basement. So,
It smells
Sweet.
the same.
but I could not miss today. I think we all know why.
Slapstick comedy?
yes.
Oh,
Slapstick
Oh,
comedy.
when-
Well done, Steph.
Well played, Steph.
Out
Coming
the
in,
gate.
coming in
nice.
strong.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, no, everybody. With trailer talk, we normally we're going to talk about trailers, but like this basically is a trailer for 2022. I think, and how it's going to go. So, I mean, if you didn't watch the Oscars, you probably saw the clip. But why don't we play it anyway? We found the
Sure.
uncensored clip from the Oscars last night, where Will Smith,
The one from
was-
Japanese television?
Yeah. I think it's actually from
Australia.
Australia.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
Australia.
Australia.
Australian. Will Smith and Chris Rock had a little altercation on the Oscars on Sunday night. Why don't we just go ahead and
All
play it, just so everybody understands why we're here today.
Yeah,
All right, let's go. Let's go.
I got
All
it
right,
memorized, so I'm good.
I'm gonna hit play in 3, 2, 1.
Got the hardest job tonight. Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please.
Nice, quick little
Lord.
Javier Penelope joke.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
He's laughing.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard.
It's the uh-oh for me.
That escalated quickly.
Oh, wow. Will Smith
Why
just
is he
smacked the
smiling?
shit out of me.
Hurts so good.
Out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude. It was a G.I.
Peter,
Jane
like-
joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest
I
night.
mean,
He goes on to
Wow.
say that was the greatest night in television
Yeah.
history or whatever.
Did they
Oh,
do the
man.
staring? Where he's swearing? Did they do that part?
Yeah. Get
Or
your
he's-
wife's
yeah,
name
yeah.
out your
Yeah.
fucking mouth. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Wait, before we go, I want to do a disclaimer.
Okay.
Okay.
So I want to apologize for everyone out there who had to put up with more press on this incident as opposed to talking about the more important things in life like the war, poverty, famine, climate change, anything that should require a conversation. But since we're a pop culture show, we needed to do this. So
Yeah, we are a pop
continue
culture
with the show, Drew.
And just to be clear, we do have a. Before we move on, I don't know if it's active. I don't know if I activated on this, but after this is over, we have a charity for Ukraine going on, Soup for Ukraine. So if you want to donate, go to some previous videos, and if you want to donate to Ukraine, because we do want to support those guys over there and keep that thing going. But why don't we bring up? So Will Smith did yesterday. I'm sure this is his PR team posted an apology. Why don't we put that up and we can just. I'll just read that real quick, just so everybody has context of what Will Smith.
Not the one that he
Jesus
said
Christ,
right
do
away.
we really need to do all this with the context?
No
and the
one
horse?
is
Can we
fucking
just get
ready to
into?
I mean,
Are you kidding
seriously,
me?
that's just
I'm
it's
chomping
nothing
at
but a
the bit
fucking
here.
PR. It's a PR
It is
piece
a-
that
yeah,
got
but I
put up. He
think-
didn't have
I
anything to
think
do
we
with
need
it.
to- so he comes out to say violence in all its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior last
Didn't write
night
that.
at the Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable.
He didn't write that.
Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke
Yeah,
about
excusing.
Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly
Excusing.
apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is
He didn't
no
write that.
place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy and the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us.
Such
I'm a
a
work
PR
in progress.
bullshit.
I'm a work
He
in
just
progress.
wants
Where
to
have I
keep
heard
his
that
Oscar.
before?
Yeah, well, PR bullshit. The excuses are what he tried to do afterwards when he had the quick little PR thing, and he didn't even mention the wife or say anything to Chris. It was just him, excusing it. I don't know. Who's gonna go first?
Nolan.
Nolan, you want to?
Okay, I will.
Go for it, Nolan. It's your time to shine.
Are you fucking kidding me with this guy? Are you I mean, these first of all, people should know that they know each other. They've worked together for over 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this is to laugh at the joke, and then and it's first of all, it's a joke. You're at the Oscars, now people can say, well, it was really uncalled for. Tasteless, if you want to go, I don't care. Forget that. It doesn't matter. You don't attack. First of all, you don't hit another person. You certainly don't do it in front of millions of people. If he had a problem and went backstage and talked to him about it, got in his face then and said, hey, that was really uncalled for. I don't appreciate it. You apologize to my wife. But to get up there, he made it about himself. Shock. And to go up there and physically assault a friend of yours, and then to go and accept the award. First of all, he was presenting a different award, so you just took the spotlight from somebody who's winning an Academy Award. Yeah. Then he goes and wins the Best Oscar, and he just talks about my emotions got the best of me. Sometimes you got to fight for your family. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what an abuser does. They hit and then apologize and make excuses.
It was all for love. I did it for love.
Yeah, I did it for love. And you're like, and then he's crying and everybody, and then I see later he's getting jiggy with it at the friggin' after
Because
party.
it's all bullshit.
Vanity
It's all
Fair
bullshit.
And he's even singing. He's not just dancing, and he's singing the lyrics of the song, and you're just like, are you?
Yep, rich privilege.
Are you kidding me? It's
Truth.
like unbelievable. So I think it's such horseshit. I don't know what happened to that guy. I don't know if he's right in the head. And I don't want to use that, now we're going to talk about it. It's going to come out like, well, he's mentally, like distress. He's going to try to take that kind of thing. It's like, this is like Tiger Woods going to sex addiction classes because he banged everyone. I think he fucked me at one point. I don't remember. It was a late night.
Congrats.
But I was like, did I just meet Tiger Woods? Or I think I did. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Gave me a golf ball and said, don't tell anyone. This is
Here's what makes me
ridiculous.
sick. This makes me sick because then only a few minutes later, all those fucking people stood up and gave him a standing ovation.
Yes.
And it's just like, it goes back to this whole bullshit where they're in America, where there's a set of rules for the rich and famous and the powerful, and there's a set of rules for everybody else. And it's the same thing with them. And all those star fuckers, and they are stars, but they're still star fuckers, don't want to piss Will Smith off in case, we get to do a movie with him, or I need him on my next project. And that's all they fucking worry about. And it's absolutely sickening. I just asked you two questions. First of all, had it been a woman who walked up there and did that, she would have been eviscerated, even a famous woman. And not worse, but in addition, if it had just been a nobody, like say Drew went up there and he walked in, he slapped Chris Rock on the face. First of all, he would have been tackled by security.
Yeah.
Second of all, he would have been arrested. He would have been charged with assault. Chris Rock would have done the charges, and he would have been banned from ever attending an Oscar event in his life. Not Will Smith, because in Hollywood, we let the rich and powerful get away with shit in case it affects our career. And Hollywood does it all the fucking time. I've seen it. I've actually been part of it. You look at what happened with Weinstein and all that. He just continued to perpetuate this. And I think everything he did was a calculated PR move. And, him trying to show off some toxic masculinity, it's just bullshit fucking ego. And there's not going to be any repercussions from it. And that's just the America we live in. And we just said, hey, everybody that watched that thing, it's okay to slap somebody because they made a joke at your expense. If someone made a joke at me while I was out in the street and called me something worse or did something worse, and I slapped them, I would get arrested. But why not here?
That person
On
would
fucking
also probably hit
television.
you back, right? You know, and that's what keeps most people from throwing fisticuffs, right? Is the fear of like, you know.
But you
that
still
other
get charged
person.
for what he did. If
Yeah,
I did that
yeah.
to you, I'd
Well-
get charged.
What if Amy Schumer had made that joke and he walked up and slapped her? Oh my God! What if he slapped Amy Schumer?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
she's
that's
a
the
comedian.
acceptance of male toxic masculinity. You're allowed to do that. And let's not even get into the black on black violence. Let's not even go there. I just think that we totally accept his behavior in America, and it makes me
the other
wanna
thing is,
puke.
yeah, but tell me, how about Tiffany Haddish saying that she's like, I've never seen anything so beautiful in my life. Some kind of stupid comment about like a black man defending his wife. Are you shitting me? It's called assault. If Chris Rock wanted to, he could have pressed charges. Listen, there's ways to stand up for your woman or your man, depending on what. There's ways to stand up for your partner that doesn't include physical violence. If it's pushed by that other person to that extent, then you got to throw hands. You know what I'm saying? But you don't go up and slap someone. And I don't care if it's in front of all these people on national television, broadcast all over the world, or if it's down at the local deli. You don't do that shit. It's so unprofessional. It's so narcissistic and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then for anybody to excuse that behavior, it's like, no, that was not romantic. It was not romantic. And especially the two. By the way, at what point do we talk about like the last 5-6 years in the Smith household? I don't even know what's going on in there.
Yeah.
And I think
rumor
that's what
about
Chris
his
Rock-
sets
I think
and
that's what
shows
Chris
are
Rock
nuts.
was sort of shaking his head at. He was sort of like, I could go places here, mate, and he doesn't. Like he lets off the gas, which to his credit, this could have escalated. He could have hit him back, and he could have doubled down, and he didn't, and he let it ride. He never once like raised his voice. He just said. He made a quip a little.
He was a
quip.
class act about it. He'll use that on stand up for years though.
Oh, did you
He's
see
sold
that his
more
concerts?
tickets, in the last 24 hours than he has in the last few years.
Good. I think he deserves that. Absolutely. I mean, I'm interested to hear what, Stephanie. What was your take on this?
I mean, because I was watching it all live, so when I watched it first happen, and you see Will Smith like laughing, so he's laughing at the joke that Chris Rock made, and then all of a sudden now he's walking up stage, and I feel like his wife made a face at him, and he's like, "Oh shit! Like I gotta go."
I think so too. Yeah.
Do something about it, and he just decided to go up on stage and slap her because when he's walking away, he's smiling. So I'm like, oh, maybe this was a bit, and then the audio cut out, and I was like, oh, something's happening, because then you just see Will, and it's like you can't hear what he's saying. You kind of read his lips, and you're like, oh. So I mean, he acted on love.
Really?
He acted on toxic. I don't think he did.
Of course not.
I think he acted on
100%
my wife's
ego
gonna
bullshit.
yell at me if I don't do something about it.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was interesting. I think a lot of people, and I don't want to like. I'm not going to try to like say the Oscars did the right thing here, but I think it's hard to make a call right then because I think a lot of people were sort of like, is this a bit?
Well, no, how is it hard to make a call right
no,
there?
at
How
the
it's
moment,
still an
at the
assault.
moment,
Assault is assault.
Because he was laughing, like even as an audience, like even I was watching it live too, and even I was like, what's? Yeah, it was very confusing because it did feel like something like because these two do know each other, they both come from comedy, right? And it's like, is this part of like the joke? But then when he started cursing at him, is the moment I think everybody started to understand. This isn't a joke. Like this is for real, and you start to kind of look back at how Chris Rock reacted, and he's pretty shaken up here. I think the Academy really didn't know what to do. I think they should have acted
Not given him his award. They
Well, I
should have
think they should
removed
have
him from the
acted
place.
quicker
They
before
should
they
not have
were
given him his reward.
yeah.
They should have taken that moment away from him.
And that's never happened
and
before
that
either.
would
So
have been the end of
there's
it.
no
It's because they have no
precedent.
balls.
There's no
They have no
precedent for this
balls.
either. I think there will be.
Well,
now.
there is precedent with it. It's assault. We have rules for this.
Yeah, but I
There
mean,
is precedent. Again, I go back to the question: if you had done that, Would you have been there accepting an award? Would you have
PJ,
been there for longer
PJ,
than 5 minutes?
Drew is never getting a ticket to the Oscars.
I mean, I might
Little
sneak in.
dream.
I might sneak in one day.
The point is,
they
if
won't.
it was,
They don't. But no. Seriously, you're right. What if a seat filler? What if one of us was a seat
had
filler
they done that,
and did
they
that?
wouldn't been there any long. They wouldn't be there because it's Will Smith, because it's all a bunch of star fuckers. The show went on. Well, we can't wreck the show. Oh my God, we already know he's going to win. We can't mess that up. Oh my God, we're going to lose our Emmy next year because that show always wins an Emmy. That's all those people worry about, and it's ridiculous. And when do you just tell the rest of America it's okay to do that? And that's what happened. Again, we perpetuate this fucking just threatening people vibe that we've been experiencing the last too long of time. Yeah, it makes me. The more I talk about it, it makes me extra angry because the rules don't apply for everybody anymore in this country.
Yeah,
No.
I hear you. I mean, I want to hear Pagan. I mean, did you feel like, oh wow, Will Smith was like, if someone did that for you, are you like, wow, he defended my honor? I mean, what's your take on this?
God, no. I feel like there's a lot of things here. Like, I actually really used to like Will Smith and look up to him and stuff like that, and I've lost all respect for that man in this moment. Like, and to be fair, I've not really been involved in like his whole social media side. I just like his work and all this kind of stuff. And he seemed like a nice guy. All respect. Lost. Take care. No, but I was actually really surprised, but am I really surprised? But if Adam ever tried to get up at the Oscars and make for the stage, I'm telling you that man would not make it as far. No, I'd be like, get the fuck.
Yeah, but
sit the fuck down. Are you joking? Get the fuck down before you ruin your life.
Yeah, but I just think we forget about the venue. I'm talking about like,
just in general.
I asked Jill about that. It's like, no, in that setting, it's perfectly acceptable to go find his ass at the after party and say, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And if you just sit there in that look and you look at your wife and it's like, and you show that if he had just sat there and just looked at and then just looked at him and like and been disgusted, everybody we'd be talking about how Chris Rock shit the bed at the Oscars and told a terrible joke.
And now Will was a class act.
Yeah.
Yep,
I mean,
you're right.
all Jada Pinkett Smith would need to do is just give him the middle finger and be
Totally.
like, piss off. And it would have been over.
Like,
it would have
there
been
should have been two reactions. The first reaction could have just been like the eye roll or like, that's a shameful fucking blow, bro. And then everybody, like you say, would just be talking about how Chris Rock really fucking shit the bed. Or alternatively, Will Smith in his anger and like quick emotion, which by the way, I feel like that walk takes a long time. You don't react in anger or emotion. Like it's like instinct or like, instant when you're that angry. To get up there all the way on stage, live television and everything, like, Anyway, what he should have done was go straight up to Chris Rock and been like, hey, my wife has alopecia. Do you know what alopecia is? Let me tell you for a second. Alopecia is and then just talk about alopecia for a second and just be like, I think she looks beautiful. That's my wife over there. And then everybody would have been like, fucking, yeah, fucking woo, woo, woo. And Chris would have been like, yeah, shit, bro, you're right. I'm sorry. And then moved on with the rest of the show and it would have been amazing.
Absolutely.
If you wanted to pull a
Then
publicity
it's definitely
stunt.
the worst Oscars ever.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I was like, if you want to put a publicity stunt, that's what you should do. Fucking slapping him in the face was such an overreaction.
What are they going to do next year now?
Well, yeah, that's what my theory is. A Hunger Games. Which,
can we be seat fillers?
Can we?
You know what it should be? No, you know what it should be? It should be Ricky Gervais with full helmet and.
I want Dave
just
Chappelle
because,
and Ricky Gervais.
Just lift down the thing. Just lift it up, and when somebody walks in, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
The glass and the visor.
Can't wait for those
the
jokes
other
to hit.
thing,
I should just hand out boxing gloves at the front door.
Yeah.
The other element that I would like to also examine, and that is the way that we do the Oscars. And I know that they try to do it so they make light of what they're doing, but nobody takes light of movies and Oscars and stuff. And we have these comedians that get up there and they make fun of the other people, and they're pretty mean about it. Sometimes they're pretty mean about it. Sure. It's sort of like that roast environment. And why do we have to do that in America? I don't understand that. I always equate it to a British baking show versus the American baking show. An American baking show, they're all about, I won't kick that person's ass. I'm such a better cooker than them. And then British is like, oh, do you need a little extra sugar with that? Oh, I think those buns are getting too brown. Can I get them out of the oven? It's ridiculous what we do here.
I think there's a good reason for it, and I think, and it's the reason we have those like comedy roasts on whoever, like William Shatner or whatever. It's a term of endearment, right? Like, you've made it, right? Like you're successful. You have all this success. You have all this stardom. We have to take you down a notch, right? And it's playful. The joke isn't like, when you watch those roasts, yeah, they're harsh. It's like, you've had 13 wives, ha ha ha. Like, but it's funny because it's true. Like you have to laugh at the ridiculousness of these people's lives and that they've been put on the pedestal. And that's what that's why Ricky Gervais was so great when he was hosting the Oscars.
But they don't laugh
because
at
he didn't
it. That's
give a
why
shit.
Will got up and that's why Will got up and smacked
because
him,
they don't.
it's-
They're in their own world. They're in their own bubble, right? They don't understand. It's hard. Ricky
Yeah, but
Gervais, right? When he broke it down, he's saying like, I'm listen, mate. Like, you need to come down to regular life here. The rest of the world is watching this. Like, you're over here in your ivory castle a little bit, right? Like, so come on, guys. Let's put this in perspective. To your point, PJ, when you even open this podcast, you're saying like, there's better things to talk about, right? But here we are talking about it, right? You know, so it's just, we live in this world where I think it's okay to roast people who are on pedestals. It's okay for that. It's why we can talk shit.
I
I'm the
agree,
only
but I
one-
think it's
I'll-
different
I'm
because
only
she
allowed
has
to
a
roast
medical
her.
condition, right? I think that's where everyone's like, yo, we draw the line. Now look, comedy, I don't think anything's off limits in comedy. There are some of the worst jokes made out there in the world. Hell, they've even been made on Retro Replay. Like, those jokes get really fucking dark because if you can't laugh about it, you're gonna cry about it. And I feel like there shouldn't be an off limits. However, I do think that if she got offended, if Will got offended, like Nolan said, pull him back at the other, like, off stage. Just be like, hey, that wasn't fucking cool. Can you please apologize to my wife? Like, and maybe fucking tweet it out or something and be like, you're a jerk, man. She's got a medical condition. Like, that was a fucking low blow.
Yeah, but you know, it's alopecia. It's not stage 4 cancer.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's like, okay, and she's still a beautiful woman, and she shaved her head.
is,
She's worn scars with her. She's still a beautiful woman, and G.I. James, Demi Moore, shaved head.
It's
beautiful
a badass.
woman.
It's a
It's
badass
beautiful
movie.
film.
Yeah,
it's
and I
such a
actually
good
a
film.
understand
badass.
that.
Yeah, she's a
I
badass
understand.
in it.
I understand that, you know, the joke was tone deaf, but again, it's a
was.
joke.
It is a joke.
Here's the other thing in this country, PJ. I agree with you on that.
can't-
When
yeah,
did
yeah.
When did people lose their sense of humor to just, you know, do a joke? I saw somebody recently. They mentioned Con Man. I said, "Oh, I missed that." I'm like, couldn't even make it today. They're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "That was just a few years ago, and people are so sensitive to the point now where they slap a comedian. That can you imagine going to a comedy club and somebody tells a joke and goes, 'My wife's got a wooden leg,' and somebody goes up there and slaps them
Yeah.
or assaults them? It's like you can't. What?
No, I hear you. I
Well,
wanna
Will Smith
clarify
did
that,
it.
though. I want to clarify that, though. I'm not saying that you can't have humor. I'm not saying that you can't poke fun of it. I'm saying that it's just become so mean-spirited
Oh, yeah,
in
no, I
this
know.
country. It's not. There's no humor involved. It's just, how can I personally attack you and disguise it as humor? That's not humor to me. That's just that's lazy humor. I mean, I know there's funniness
agree.
in
I
truth,
agree.
but
There can be there
there's
is
a
good
meanness.
there is good jokes, good roasting, and then lazy roast. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'll be honest,
Oh, I
Chris Rock.
agree.
Chris Rock, it's not the best comedy, right? Like, that wasn't the best joke, but it's still to Nolan's
was
point, it's
improv.
still a joke.
Yeah.
It still was in
And
jest.
it was off
wasn't
prompt.
meant to
Yeah.
be hurtful. Does that
No.
make
Yeah.
sense? Like, it didn't come out as, it's not like he's not being hurtful that's not his intention.
No,
You
of
know,
course not.
yeah.
Of course, it's not his intention. It's just
But-
all I'm saying
but
is I think that
Smith
he
took it
gets
that
out there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think he did actually. Jada took it that way, and Smith said, "Ha." Then saw her. And Stephanie said, "Saw her," and then was like, "Oh, right, I should be pissed. Let me go."
Yeah, I think it's
now
a
he
little
feels
bit
like
about-
I think he's playing to his character. Like, do you think people look at him and think, "Wow, Will Smith, you need to defend her honor. Like, you need to go up there and slap somebody." Like,
No, it's that
like,
the
you know what I'm
Smiths think
saying?
they're untouchable. You can't. They consider themselves some sort of weird royalty.
I wonder if there's a character play here. Like, he thinks people are going to look at me like a badass when I go up and slap this.
I don't even think that
Like-
crossed his mind.
I don't
thought-
think
I
it
think
crossed
he
his
was
mind.
like, I'm going to get in fucking
No,
trouble
Drew,
if I don't
I
slap
think
him.
that a little bit too, though. I think that
I
a
think
little
he's
what you're
playing
thinking,
up
Drew.
to his own, who he thinks people think of him as, right? Like the hero.
I've never
Right,
thought.
Oh
like the
no,
hero-
I thought he was doing it because she gave him a signal or something, right?
I know. I
There's
think
definitely
he
a clip
thinks
missing there.
he's got a bit of an art. Like, he thinks he is like the knight in shining armor here. Like, he needs to be the hero here. He needs to go up on stage and slap this dude because he was out of line, like he would do in a bar if someone disrespected some lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he thinks he's the character.
But
in
why?
His movies.
But why? Right? So say if someone disrespected me in front of Adam, Adam's first response isn't like, let me fucking slap you in the face. It would be like, hey bro, it's not fucking cool. Like there might be a, you know, like a brace where you're like, yo, fuck off. Like that's not fucking cool. Like there's a like an intermediate stage before you just go psh, and smack somebody. Like there just isn't this like this run up. So
There's a better way to
definitely
handle
something
it.
else. Yeah, there's definitely something
Much
else
better way
yeah.
to handle it.
behind this. Like this must be
Well,
context
and I think the
somewhere.
thing that's telling, I think the thing that's telling too is like some of the tweets that you saw afterwards. Like there's one tweet from his son, Jaden Smith, and like all caps, and he's
Actually
like, "That's how we do," or like, "That's what we do."
Are you
And I'm
kidding
like,
me?
"Are you serious? That's how you raise that's how
Pagan,
you raise your kids."
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got that up here. It's Jaden, and he said, and that's how we do it. And you're like, no,
Yeah.
that's fucking not,
no,
bro.
No.
That's how you get. That's how you end up in jail. But
Right.
So that also shows, I think,
Yeah.
too, like their dynamic in their household.
yeah.
Household. Are we gonna want to touch on household? Apparently, she hasn't. She sleeps with everyone but Will Smith.
Oh yeah, they
So
have a relationship.
you know. Oh yeah, no, there's an open relationship, and who knows where, and they're all down there jerking each other off at the Scientology building. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's all fucked up. And here's the thing. Here's the bottom line. We can talk about what do you think they're fucking crazy. That's the deal. I mean, have you seen their kids?
True.
I don't know who's who anymore. And then
watch it. Will's gonna come in and slap you.
let him come
Ain't
in
gonna fucking
because
find
I'll
you.
press charges. I'll get some of that fucking money. And here's the thing. I love King Richard. Probably one of my favorite films. I thought he was great in it. And then just to see what a piece of shit person he is,
Right.
Yeah.
it kind of ruined it.
That's
But
the
there's
thing, right?
reputation.
Like,
He has a reputation in Hollywood of like taking over the movies, and it's just being a nightmare when he's involved.
I think you nailed it on the head. It sucks because now we have another actor that I have to separate his body of work from the person himself. And that sucks, right? Like now I have to be. Now he's like.
You haven't met
it's-
many celebrities, have you?
Well, no, but I mean, but that's the thing. We want to assume these are great, good people, right? Like I want to assume Tom Cruise isn't batshit crazy in Scientology because I like watching his movies. I fucking love watching Tom Cruise run like a madman in Mission Impossible movies and fly jet planes in Top Gun, right? Like that's awesome.
yeah.
But like I don't like the guy, like the man, like he seems a little nuts right
Well,
now.
that's-
Now I have to apply that same logic to when I watch Independence Day or Bad Boys, which I fucking love those
But because we
movies.
can't
Yeah,
just
but-
watch movies. We can't just watch movies now. We have to know everything they're doing. We have to stalk them on social
But that's-
media. We have to read
yeah,
every
but
magazine.
listen,
every
you're-
news thing
you're
talks
a
about
hero.
them. Back in the 30s, 40s, 50s,
People
you
look
couldn't,
up
you
to
didn't
them.
know, and all you
That's
saw were the
the point.
movies.
You have to
Yes,
be
and
buttoned
they
up.
shouldn't
People-
look up to them.
No, I
You
disagree. I
shouldn't.
disagree because
You're
here's
looking
the
up to
thing.
the character, Drew. It's not the person. You're
No,
looking up to the
I
character.
do look up to that because I
Yes.
think it takes a lot of hard work to be successful in any industry. I don't care what it is. Now, if you want to achieve your dreams, right, whether that's in acting or you want to become a lighting grip or whatever it is, you have to have people that you look up to, right? And people
Can
look
let my
up to
dog
him.
out.
And so he needs to be better here, right? Like, and
Yeah.
full stop. You have to be better. You can't go up on stage and slap people, especially at the fucking Oscars or anywhere, right? And then go dance at a party that night and be on camera. Like,
Yes.
that's
Because
just
it's all
fucking
bullshit.
ridiculous.
It's
Yeah.
all just
It
bullshit.
is.
He
And
should've
what you
ta-
saw,
and-
saw is the person. And I'm sorry, I cannot have self-respect for myself if I'm going to be, oh, it's okay. I love his work, so I'm just gonna no, I'll fucking boycott him. I don't give a fuck. I'm done. I
But
never
you're never
liked him
going to see
anyway.
Anthony
I
Hopkins
don't wanna-
get up on stage and slap somebody, or you're never going to see
No,
like,
true.
you know what I'm saying? There are people who've made it that as big as him that can control them and be that role model and be the better person here, right? You know, and that's the problem. There are people that I think deserve the accolades, and then there are people, unfortunately, like Will Smith, that I think don't. Right now, we're realizing maybe he doesn't deserve the pedestal he's been put on. And
I
that
agree with what
sucks.
you're saying now.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I agree, but I also do think, like, going back to the wider point that PJ brought up earlier, like, the Academy should have fucking reacted better. The
Oh,
Academy
yeah, they
came out
should.
and they said
They're
something
not.
like,
They
we
won't.
don't condone violence or something. I have it here. Like we don't, the Academy doesn't condone violence of any form, and we are delighted to celebrate the winners, and they deserve the moment of recognition from their peers. Yeah, totally agree that the winners absolutely do. Like second time a female director has won Best Director, right? Jane Campion.
Jane Campion.
Yeah, like, but fucking hell, remove the Smiths. Even in the commercial break, just fucking go, hey guys, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Yeah, you just assaulted one of our
discussion with you back here.
Would you mind? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen because it's
Well,
Hollywood.
I think Drew had a good point on that. It's nobody expects no precedent. So there's nobody expects something like that to happen. You know, the thing that a lot of people
no, you can't say it's a precedent. It's still a slap. It's still an assault. There is a precedent.
I know,
but
at the moment, no one knew how to react to it.
Hold on, let me explain. What a lot of people don't understand. What a lot of people don't understand is how the Academy Awards started. Nothing was ever on radio, television. It was a dinner. It was a friggin' dinner that just an industry thing. And then advertisers and everybody, and it's this big stroke fest of like how wonderful and the outfits. And we're going to let's put Amy Schumer in a Spider-Man thing. Okay. It's like, but you know, it's like, and everybody, we talk about the host. Oh, it's a female. It's a black man. Oh, it's a comedian. He's British. And he's going to insult people. What do we do? How about, why don't you guys stop televising it?
True.
Have a dinner, have a banquet, and go and do your thing. And let me read about it. I don't need to watch you stroke the egos. And I don't know why. I mean, and the thing is, it's like, I don't even know why it was on in my house. Because it's just, there was nothing else on, and we were getting dinner ready, watching, and it was on, you know, they just won. And, you know, like, I have a whole nother rant on Power of the Dog. Hated it.
But what they don't televise the technical ones. They don't televise all the ones with the hard work.
Bro,
like, not saying that acting's not hard work, but all of that stuff, you don't see those. Where's all that stuff? Those can't be televised because they're not famous people.
They were televised, they just weren't live like the rest of the Oscars, which is unfortunate.
Well, I hated that. I mean, growing up, like, we always had, like, Oscar parties that we went to and stuff like that. So as a kid, like, that was my thing. Like, I was sucked in. Like, shit, I've got a jacket. Like, and I was obsessed with it. And then, you know, like all childhood things, like, it just changed. And I learned the truth. And I was like, okay.
It became more of a show, right?
Yeah.
It became more of a show rather than you're like, oh, I like that performance. And there's five, you know, there are 5 characters. Now it's like,
Yasin
that's at 10. It's like, because we got to give everyone.
Wait, hold on. I'm interrupting before it goes away. Yasin says, what would you do if, basically he's asking, what would you do if it was a white guy? It has nothing to do if it was Paul Rudd or Ryan Reynolds. It has to do with the violence. I just said the same thing. If it was Drew doing it, he'd be arrested and put in jail.
Yeah.
Like, the color of his skin has nothing to do with it. It's his action.
No. Absolutely agree.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people defending, like, oh, this is, you know, how 2 people, and I'm like, no, like, this has nothing to do with, you know, race or anything. It's just bad optics and a bad play for it's just not a good look for Will Smith or the Oscars or America, to be quite frank. Like, it just makes you know, the
Chris
Oscars,
Rock looks great.
Yeah, Chris
Rock
looks pretty good.
Chris Rock looks
now,
like
what if, because of the ratings have been going down for so long, the whole thing was staged?
Oh, there's loads of people
it's like
saying
The Bachelor?
that's just a ridiculous statement.
I don't buy it. Yeah,
No
I mean,
way.
if it was? I mean, gosh, if that ever got out, the Oscars would just be done. It would be they get canceled like the Golden Globes.
That would just no. There's no way
mention
it's airing on live television in America.
To be honest with you, I thought it was a gag. I honestly thought it was a gag.
At first, right? Like in the moment.
Even Chris
Until it was.
Yeah,
I thought it was a gag until it was muted. When it was muted that long, I was like, oh my God, this might be real. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
But until like the uncensored came out on Twitter, I still kind of was like, oh, maybe that was just like a weird like, you know, he was cursing, and I still sort of thought maybe it was a gag until the uncensored the clip we showed earlier, where he's literally cursing at him and just furious, like, and like it was a weird type of like vulgar anger that just like he didn't even need to do that either.
No.
Like, it was like an exclamation point on, like, you know, it's like when you shoot somebody, you know, in the movies where it's like you put 2 in the chest and then you shoot them in the face just to make sure. You're like, Jesus, buddy. Like, you didn't need to do that, you know? Yeah, like overboard, overkill. Stop. And I
No,
just want to make a
it goes to his character, like you said
Yeah.
earlier. It just goes
Right.
to his character.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, I hear your all's point on, like, what are the Oscars even for? I think they do serve a great point in, and I am glad that they're televised. I think it gives, for films like Coda, and even Power of the Dog, if you didn't like it or not, but it gives films like that a platform for more people to get recognized, right? Like, it's sort of like, I hope more people go see Coda. It's a great film. I'm glad it won Best Picture. I think there was a lot of great categories. I'm glad Dune won a lot of the categories it won for technical achievements. I think it well deserved. So I'm glad the Oscars exist to give films that like even like Belfast or something like that the platform to have the accolades so that people will go see these works of art, because that's what they are. This is an art form, and I think it should be.
Yeah.
I think we should revel in it.
And-
For something like this to happen, it disrespects everybody. So now we're not talking about Coda. We're not talking about
Hey.
the fact that there was a lot of what do you call it, like great things that happened that night that were like
Yeah,
Tori,
overshadowed.
one of the first second deaf person to ever win an award. Like no one's talking about that shit. It's all over Apple winning the best picture over Netflix, and Netflix has been doing it for the last 10 years, and Apple comes in 3 years and wins best picture. Like none of that shit is being talked about. All of this, and we're here talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock, and it sucks. Like he took the air out of all the good things that we could be talking about right now about the Oscars. And that sucks.
You know what's interesting? The guy from Coda who won. You don't see people who are deaf, hitting anyone because their hands are so important. So that's if he slapped him, that would have been something.
Raphael makes a point. He talks about film festivals are for that, Drew, and I kind of like, and so are the other, like the Indie Awards and the Golden Globes and all
I
those
like
other
the
ones.
Oscars.
Who
Because
has
these
the opportunity to go to
these-
those are for the elite. Like I can't go to
these
Sundance.
cowtails. Like I don't think I think Dune's a better picture than Coda. Sorry, but it'll never get the Oscar because it's a big sci-fi thing. It'll never get Best Picture.
I think it will.
Like, I don't know.
Think,
I
similar
think
to
it's way
Return of the
too
King, I
political.
think they weren't going to give Lord of the Rings, knowing that there's more films coming. It's hard to give a film that's part of a bigger franchise like that the
No,
best
but then it's
picture.
not standing on its own. That
No,
means
well,
that you're not,
I don't think
all
Will
those people that worked on that film and that might be their only film aren't going
I
to
hear
get it
you.
because it's part of a larger body.
But
Again,
we know
bullshit.
the Oscars,
That's all
right?
politics.
We know the Oscars look at the body of work as well as the work itself, right? I don't think this was Will Smith's best performance, but I think they took into account all of his body of work and said like, this now is the time.
Can't do that though.
I agree,
I
but
don't
I
know.
think
Totally.
we sort of see
like
how
Leonardo
that plays.
DiCaprio.
I mean,
Troy
unfortunately,
Kotzer was really good.
he was strong.
in Coda. I mean, he was amazing. That was my choice.
Yeah,
I thought he was phenomenal because it conveyed a story, to someone who has the ability to hear. I mean, it spanned everything. It spanned everything. Just that performance.
It was really good storytelling.
Yeah, it was, and it was. I thought it was really well done. But I don't know. We're getting into a bigger discussion on all these things, but.
Yeah, and I think this is a good time. If anybody, like our members, if you're a member of CouchSoup and you want to call in, and if you have a question to us or have a thought on what just happened at the Oscars or the Oscars in general, join us on Riverside. You can hit the call-in button, and we'll bring you in. You can ask your question. I totally agree with you. I think Coda won because over Power of the Dog because it's lighthearted, and we're in a time now where we need like more of these like heartfelt stories and less of like kind of like these darker, deeper stories, right? I think that's
And it didn't suck.
that too. Listen, I think the craft of that
Power of
film
the Dog was powerless to me.
Oh, really?
Just
I haven't seen it yet.
Hated
I
it.
really want to watch it though.
hated it. You know what I
Love it or
loved?
hate it.
Hated it. I hated it, and it's not none of the I just was like bored to tears.
Not your thing.
Bored to tears. Just everybody walking around quiet. Jesse Plemons, blah, 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 blah. What? And then she's gonna go drink, and then he's just running around with his banjo. I'm like, and the other kid, get the fuck, that poor kid, get him a sandwich. He's in the Old West. He's so skinny, and I felt bad. Like the wind was gonna blow him away, and but great performances again. But the movie. The movie was it's like there were great individual performances, and it was well directed. I love the scenery. It was well directed. Great individual performances. I'm just talking as a whole movie. I was like, oh well, there's fucking hours I'm never getting back. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That shit,
Now here,
yeah,
let me
yeah.
tell you something. Now I saw Belfast. Great performances, but I got the story. I love the direction of that. Kenneth Branagh. He took a real theatrical, almost like a theater piece.
Yeah.
Look at that. But and was it? Is it Kieran Hines? Is that his name?
Kieran Hines, yeah.
Kieran Hines.
Yep.
As the grandfather was fucking brilliant.
Yeah. He was,
He's very
And so I just
Yeah.
Jamie Dornan. I mean, I didn't. That kid was so good.
so good. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's I don't know. I just no that
Troy
Coda.
Kutzer, sorry for Coda, did actually win supporting actor.
Yep. Best
Yes, he did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
and
and-
he was amazing in Coda. Well, I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there again there was a lot of well-deserved wins, and I think a lot of people were sort of like, man, this was like I was watching the Oscars and thinking like, man, this is going pretty well. Like as far as like I think they're recognizing the right. And listen, it's all subjective, right? But in my mind, I was like, man, they're really recognizing I think the right people here. And then this thing just happens, this Will Smith slap, and it's just like. It just took the air out of everything, and you're like, everybody, it's all anybody could fucking talk about. Like I was even reading a New York Post article where they were like, it was even to the point where, like when Will Smith went to give his speech, like the people that would normally like hang out at the bar and like not give a shit anymore about the Oscars, like they just go to the bar outside in the lobby, they all were like, shut up, I want to hear what this guy has to say because of what just fucking happened. So it was just a different mood for that's all anybody cared about. And then to have his speech just be completely tone deaf of not only himself but the situation, did not apologize to Chris, really like
Didn't
made
even
it all
mention
about
his wife.
love.
No, yeah, true.
Yeah, and it was just such a
And then
it
to
was
be
just-
dancing
Yeah.
and singing at it with his
and
at his party later. It's like
and the worst part is like he had more time to talk and give his acceptance speech than I feel like anybody. It felt like he was talking forever,
Oh,
and
he
never
was taking
once
a long time.
did the music come on and be like, "Hey, buddy, wrap it up." It was like, "Do what you got to
Yeah,
do."
because they're afraid
Will.
he's gonna slap him.
Air it
They had
all
some
out.
weird Oscars
Like,
graphics
what?
popping up in between too. I thought
Meanwhile,
that was them
like
trying to...
like best sound guys are getting played off because they're trying to thank their family. You know, like oh, you know, and it's
True.
like, come
Yeah.
on, like what the fuck?
I had a
And
lot of problems with the Oscars this year.
It was a mess.
I haven't watched them in
Absolutely a
years. I'll be
mess.
honest with you. I haven't watched them in years.
I
I just don't. I don't.
I thought it
don't
was-
care.
I don't either, but we keep it on just to see like, oh, what happened? Did we see that? A lot of times we're like, we didn't even see these movies, and this year we actually saw a bunch of them, and it's like I feel bad for like Questlove got that award, and everyone's just still reeling from what just happened.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can tell me what he even said in his speech, I'll be amazed because everyone was still in shock.
Yeah.
And then, and by the way, I don't know if we're even talking about the most troubling moment of the night, which was Kevin Costner's speech, introduction. Did he or did he not like take forever?
It was forever.
Like I kept at one point, I thought,
I
think the teleprompter's broken. He would say a sentence, and you're like, is that it? And then he would say another sentence.
Yeah.
I love him, but yeah, that took a while.
It was like I didn't even know what he was getting at. I was like, is this like just a Kevin Costner introspective on life? Like I wasn't sure what he. Yeah, it was.
That
really
intro
weird.
was longer than Dune.
Yeah.
Okay, that intro took forever. There should have been an intermission. They could have cut the commercial and come back for that.
Yeah.
It was like,
still
and
talking
I
in the
love
corner.
Costner, but I was like,
Yeah.
I either thought I actually thought I looked at Jill and I said, "Is the teleprompter broken?" She goes, "I don't know. It seems stilted." I said, "Do you think he might be hammered? Like maybe he's just been at the bar, just throwing them back." It's just like I was like, "Wow, this just it's taking a long time." That and then here, since we're talking awkward moments, tell me about this one. How about let's bring out Francis Ford Coppola and your bookends, Pacino and De Niro, just sitting there. Didn't say a word.
I know. I was waiting
Gino's
for
like-
him to say something.
Could somebody have combed Al's hair? No, apparently
Yeah.
not. We're just at the
Plays with a
Oscars.
star.
Yeah.
Lee looked like he got slapped. He got like, I got my hair just perfect. Then somebody slapped him. His hair went poof. Just get out there. Go.
It was like
They
so
were there
weird
for
too.
the
They would-
early bird dinner.
Yeah, they would have
Oh,
like the
God.
weirdest, like it was like the 16th or 18th anniversary of White Man Can't, like 18th, like why is that important? Like the 18th
The
anniversary, like
35th
it
anniversary
was like
of
they were
Pulp
reaching for
Fiction.
like cultural moments to like bring
Yeah.
people back. I was like, what are we doing right now? What is this Oscars about? Like,
And
I
then
have
the
no
invites
idea.
too.
I
Like that one girl from West Side Story didn't get invited. She had to bitch about it to get invited. But
Yeah.
meanwhile,
Yeah.
they've got influencers showing up there, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
reality
Yeah.
TV peeps.
all that
I'm like,
about?
what the fuck is that about?
And then
I
they were
love
showing,
the
like,
moment.
the
Politics, power,
Snyderverse
bullshit.
wins best
Oh, I hated that.
moment. I'm like, what is happening right now? What am I like?
Hey,
even
you
my,
shut your
my
fucking
wife,
mouth, Drew.
No.
You shut your mouth
my wife
on
was
the
like, well,
Snyderverse right there. I'm
we
gonna
didn't
come. I'm gonna come
understand
for
what
you.
was happening. We're like, what, did they
No.
win an award or something?
was like
we
a
were,
They
fan
did. It was
moment.
like
Yeah.
fan cheer moment. It was like I don't know when they
It was
decided to
kinda
make
They're
up this
trying to
category.
look. They're trying to look relevant.
Yeah, it was
I
like a
hated it.
Twitter
This is-
voted award or something.
You cut.
Hey, I was actually okay with that.
Thank you,
I'm okay with
Nolan.
No, you know I'm okay with it.
I
No,
was-
I'm total selfish reasons. The
You're the Flash.
Netflix is doing the Army of the Dead animated series,
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
and I'm in that with
Nice,
those
dude.
guys. So
Dude.
I was like, that was the time I was it's been announced now, but I remember working one day, and this guy just kept telling me, "That was really good, Nolan. Let's do this here," and I'm like, "Okay, is Zach anything else for Nolan?" I'm like, yeah. I'm like, is that Zack Snyder? They're like, yeah, Zach directed you. I was like, oh,
Oh, wow.
I did not know this.
That's cool.
He
You're like,
seemed pleased. And I had a friend there, and he goes,
I would have slapped them.
I would
He
have.
goes, I kept telling him that you do on camera too. And I'm like, good. That was a good, I thank you.
Good
and I will
move.
send you a bottle of booze for that.
I want to
hasn't-
clarify.
I don't
Oh,
know,
yeah.
chipped in there.
Yeah.
I want to clarify for all the Snyder fans. I'm not hating on the movie. I'm just hating on the category. Like, that's all.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
don't piss off the
I
Snyder
fucking
fans.
hate the movie.
Jesus.
The movie's terrible.
Please.
Like it shouldn't.
Drew?
Like, yeah, it's not even.
But there's no, he didn't get an award, right? It was, they didn't
No,
get,
it was just some
I
fan
don't even
thing.
know. That's
Yeah,
was the
but
thing.
it
I don't
doesn't
even
that-
understand why it was there. Like it was
Right,
just
doesn't
so
it? Well,
random.
Cheer-worthy
okay,
moments.
I will agree with
Yeah,
this.
I
will
don't know
say,
why.
when did the Oscars turn into like the Nick at Night awards? You know,
Yeah.
like we're
Yeah.
gonna do, hey, you know.
Yeah.
I was waiting for like Dame
not it.
Judi Dench to get slimed, from the
Yes.
ceiling. Just
Totally. Yeah, it was
Amy
so
Schumer's
weird. It
got
was
a
like
slime
last
bucket.
year they were trying to inject like all this weird. They had like somebody like do it like dancing, like they're picking out random people and having to do awkward dance. I was like, I don't care about any of this shit. I want to
No.
hear. I want to see
hear
awards
about the
being given
editors.
out to people that I am happy that they're getting.
Doggo!
recognized for their- Oh
What do
my
you have to
God,
say?
That's a
What
bear.
do you have to say, Doggo?
That's a bear, not
Aw.
a dog.
Doug was growling earlier
Smell like-
because they were also
I
not
felt like
impressed.
the in
Drew just got
memoriam was
interrupted by a
awkward
dog.
too.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Saucer.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything? I mean, we've pretty much said everything that needs to be said here. But I mean, do you guys have any like final? Like, what do you think is going to happen? My question, I guess, is what do you think is going
Nothing.
to
Fuck
happen?
all.
To Will Smith. B, the
Nothing.
Oscars. C, Chris Rock. PJ, you don't think anything?
Nothing's going to happen. They're just too powerful. Everybody's worried about their money and their next job. Nothing's going to happen. They're just going to. This is all going to get brushed under the table. There's going to be zero consequences. Zero. Mark
I think
my
people
words.
are gonna make a petition to get Will Smith's Oscar taken away. Yet Harvey Weinstein still has all
I
of
was
his
just about to say the same
Oscars.
thing.
So, but I feel like something like that is probably gonna happen, and then
So just to be clear, so you think you think the Academy will take away his Oscar?
I think they won't take it away by their own accord. I think people will petition or do something to like
He
cancel
still did the
him.
work, though. They should have just
Yeah,
not
he-
given it to him there. They should have just said, "Sorry, we'll send it to you in the mail. Goodbye."
Yeah.
And he
Well,
would
I
have
mean,
lost his moment,
but
which is
that's
his big
hindsight. I'm
ego
asking, like,
thing
what
that
do
he
you
wanted.
think is going to happen like now? Like how do you
nothing.
think-
Fucking nothing. It's
Nothing
over.
is going to happen.
It's over.
It's done.
Chris Rock
No
is the new
charges
Fresh
pressed.
Prince.
They're going to bury it as fast as they can. They've got that nice big statement that the PR people put together, and it is over. And everybody will go buy these next movie tickets,
Yo,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
it's
You know,
mean.
and
and that's why they can do it.
Chris Rock will have something funny at his concerts to add in. He just wrote another half page of material, but he'll probably stay off it a little too much because he doesn't want to kick it up too much. Jada will go continue banging everyone but her husband, and Will just cruise right over this whole thing.
Jiggy with it.
My only thing is the only thing I can think about him doing is, coming out with, he's going to give to a charity for,
might do something
mental
like that.
frustration, or he'll, if they're smart, they'll all just shut the fuck up and let it go away. And wait for the next weird little shit for everybody to start talking about and tweeting about. But honestly, this is not the kind of thing that should, be perpetuated. But they might, because, you look at how many likes we got. And one of their kids, it's been a slow week. I'm going to Instagram myself slapping a ham sandwich. I don't know.
Everybody's becoming the Kardashians.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree.
I think we're all missing the point. We should just do something stupid, all of us. Just wait for the bank to call and say, "Where do we send the money?"
Okay. Just go around slapping people. No, that is not what we recommend.
No.
I mean, I disagree. I think there's been enough press. I mean, it's so much press. I think the Oscars will. I don't think they'll get rid of his Oscar, but I do think they will ban him from being a part of the Oscars for a certain amount of time. It could be 1 year, it could be 5. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
But I do think there will be repercussions because it's not a good look for the Oscars, and they do need to respond. And I think they don't want to be completely. They need to acknowledge it in some way, and a press release doesn't cut it. As far as Chris Rock, I think he comes out as the hero here. He's totally on top. He handled it like a gentleman, I think it was just spot
And
on.
you could tell, Drew, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm going to add on to what you're saying. You could tell he was flustered.
Yeah.
Like they're supposed to stay, and the Oscar goes to, and he was just and the winner is, and people got on to him for that. I'm like, dude, he's
just got
holding his shit together by that much.
hard. Dude, I
Yeah,
mean,
it looked
you watched
hard. It
how
looked like a hard smack.
He hit him hard,
He
dude.
did.
Listen, have
He
you
had
all
his
ever?
Chris Rock had his hands behind his back, and Will Smith just clocked him straight up, dude. His face went sideways.
Will's a big guy, and Chris is
He
not.
leaned into it. He stepped into it.
It was like when you go back and watch, you're like, and you can hear it. Like you could, the mic picked up just a, like you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's nuts. Actually, we have Michelle calling in. We only have a few more minutes, so we'll just bring her in and see what she has to say. Let's see if you're coming in.
Let's go to the phones,
Let's
PJ.
go to the phones.
We have Michelle Holstein on the line. Here she is. Welcome, Michelle.
Oh shit! It's Michelle Holstein. She's gonna have a joke about it.
Dad joke
Dad
queen.
joke queen.
Here we
If
are.
the camera will work.
I think we're having technical difficulties with Michelle right now.
Oh man, I know she's gonna have a good joke too.
I know. We were looking forward to that one.
Man.
You know? Well,
I will say I saw a meme. It was saying if it had been like The Rock on stage and Will came up and slapped him, and it was from a clip from Jumanji when he slaps Kevin. Like Kevin Hart slaps
Hart.
The Rock,
Yeah.
and then The Rock slaps Kevin, and he just goes what?
right? I dare you to go up and slap like John Cena or like Jason Momoa. Like, no, dude. Like that, they will break you in half.
Well, you can't see John Cena.
That's true.
All right. Welcome, Michelle.
That's true.
Hey, Michelle.
What are your thoughts? What do you got going for us? Can you hear us? Are you frozen?
Oh, she's frozen.
Frozen.
Hey,
Really.
I realized that I can.
You gotta listen. You gotta pay.
You
for
got
the
Drew
extra
quality internet.
Yeah.
Aw.
You gotta upgrade.
God,
They don't
she's
have
got
good
the-
internet
We can
in
hear
West
you, I think.
Virginia. I know. I've been out there.
Well, if it just starts raining out there, they just don't get the electricity.
Yeah.
Those raindrops knock it right out of the air.
The beavers,
That's right.
they
You
eat
get
the
that.
wires,
It's like, why is your internet down? Well, the hamster died.
Wait for it.
No.
Wait.
Wait.
Put the baby on the hamster wheel.
Wait.
Oh my God. Well, that's right. Well, here down here, I actually had shrimp and grits for dinner the other night. That was real nice. I
What
did
do you
not
have
know
grits?
that.
Is that like wet flour on dry flour? If you have
No,
grits and biscuits?
it's part of the corn from the cob that they shave off there underneath the niblets. It just kind of gets in there. It's real nice. That's real nice. And what they do is they put that chorizo It's a Mexican sausage. It's got a little
that
spice
Mexican.
to it. I brought Betty Lou over there, and man, I'll tell you something. She was shooting some fireworks that night under the bed. Almost set the sheets on fire. But the point is, that strips and grits with that chorizo, that's real nice. That's nice. I took care of that real good.
Chorizo.
I enjoy that. I like that. I
Chorizo.
like that a lot. That chorizo is a real nice Mexican kind of sausage. They ain't very big, but they's potent. You know what I'm saying? I think that they're all Catholic.
What?
Ain't no Jewish sausage.
That's great.
Well, the difference between the Jewish sausage and the other, it's circumcised. A lot of them Jewish fellers, they don't, in some parts of the world, they got them covered wagons rolling down in their britches, but them Jewish fellers, they cut a little piece off, I believe, and send it to heaven.
Totally.
I like that, except ironically, it makes everyone look like a little German soldier. You know what I'm saying? Depending on, unless you had like an accident. I don't know how this became.
Take note, Chris Rock. If
I'm just waiting for someone to come slap me and stop me.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have any
Where's Will
narcissistic
Smith?
celebrities
Wait
in this
for it.
house.
Wait for it.
We don't have any narcissistic celebrities in this house waiting to come over here and slap me shit out of me.
Well,
Oh, wow.
I don't know how to end the show better than that.
It's been
Thank
wonderful.
you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
This is a
Thank
good
you,
one.
Nolan,
Thank
for being
you.
here.
Thank you,
Thank
Nolan.
you.
Oh, don't forget to like and do all the subscribing and all that jazz. Check us out over at CouchSoup.com. We got amazing shit going on over there. If you become a member, you can get some great access to some great stuff. Like early, you can call into this show, for example, and maybe you have better internet than Michelle. That would be great. And then, but we Trailer Talk is every Tuesday at noon. You can also listen on podcasts wherever you find podcasts. So that is the jam.
Thanks, everybody.
So,
That's
What
Take
should we
care.
watch next week?
Yeah, what will we watch next
Bye
week?
bye, y'all.
Well,
Bye, everybody.